Hi Flosstube! My name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a great stitchy week and I'm excited to show you what I've been working on this week. And actually, before I answer any questions, I just wanted to let you know there was some issues with my comments this week that I don't know what was going on. I usually go online a couple times a week and check the comments and reply to them or click the little heart, and I use my computer for that. But I used my phone last weekend when we were out of town up in Connecticut, and I replied to comments on my phone, and then when I went to write down the questions today, I was looking back at all the comments, and a lot of them that I had replied to, it's like it didn't save the reply, so it didn't look like I had replied. So if I didn't reply to your comment last week, it may be that I tried to and it didn't save it for whatever reason. So I won't use my phone for that. Next time I'll just stick to the computer because that seems to have been working in the past. So I apologize for that. If you didn't get the little heart or the a reply to your comment, I do really appreciate all the comments. And I felt so bad because some of them I wrote like lengthy replies to this week. There were, because there was a giveaway this week, there were like 350 comments. So I thought I can't go back and re-comment, re-reply on them. So I'm just going to let it be as it is. But do know that I read your comments. I really appreciate them. And I tried to reply this week. The other thing, which is partly my fault, is we have a giveaway that I'll get to shortly this week. And last week when I announced it, I neglected to say kind of the Flosstube giveaway rules, one of which being don't say the word giveaway in your comments. And I guess in my mind I was making an assumption that people know not to do that, which I shouldn't have done. If you say the word giveaway or prize or free or anything like that, sometimes people who are not part of the cross stitch community will come in and search for those keywords and enter a giveaway because they see that there. So that's why all the Flosstubers who do giveaways, they say don't use the word giveaway or free or anything like that in your comment. So if you do use that word, I had to delete your comment because I don't want trolls coming in and taking the giveaways, in this case the project bags that I really want to go to a stitcher. So I apologize if I did have to delete. There were like 3 or 4 people who used the word giveaway, so I had to delete those comments. And just so you know, I'm pretty sure that goes for like any Flosstube giveaway that you enter. Don't use words like giveaway and free in a comment to enter a giveaway because we want to make sure that those prizes are going to actual stitchers. So having said that, questions for this week. Jean and also Nevada Stitcher had a question about my Lady of the Flag and the beading and whether I was going to use spacers when I frame it. And I did buy spacers because I don't want the, not just because of the beads. I think anytime I use glass with a piece of cross stitch, I will use spacers to keep the fabric away from the glass. But because there are beads on Lady of the Flag, I would imagine you need spacers just so that the beads aren't touching the glass and right up against it. So yes, I do have spacers, and when I get to the point where I'm ready to frame Lady of the Flag, I will kind of show you what I'm using for that and how I am planning on doing that. But I'm still beading, so not done yet. Allison asked about the mason jar pattern and wanted to know if it was still available. That is this pattern here, which is a dimensions kit. And I don't know if it is still available. I haven't seen it lately in Hobby Lobby, which is where I got this. I do know that I bought this probably almost 2 years ago now. So I'm not sure if it's still available, but it's worth taking a look or looking on, you know, eBay or Stash and Load or one of those places where they might be selling it. And even if you just got the pattern and you wanted to figure out your own colors, you could do that too. Loretta asked about my floche. I had shown in a past video that I had bought black floche for 2 of the Scarlet House patterns that I want to do, A Perfect World and Seeking Refuge. They have that black section at the bottom that I was afraid would not have enough coverage if I just used 1 strand of DMC on 36 count, which is how I like to stitch. So Loretta had asked if I could show or tell how I'm going to separate it and arrange it onto a thread drop. I haven't done that yet because I'm not ready to start that pattern yet, but I do know that when you take the wrappers off of that floche, it's going to be in a a circle, kind of like DMC is, but a much larger circle, or like Weeks Dye Works floss is when you take it off. And so when I have a really big circle of floss like that, sometimes I've gotten like a hank of silk from a silk dyer, and it comes in a big circle like that, and you don't want it to get all tangled up. I'll take something like a plastic cup, maybe 2 of them, and kind of stick them in the center of the circle on a table with my floss around it, and just kind of pull it off that way to measure out my 1 yard pieces. So when I get to the point where I'm ready to do the flourish, I can certainly, kind of show how that's done. But that's what I would suggest, is that you just kind of lay the floss out on the table in that circle and put something in the middle to keep it from getting all tangled. Kyle's asking about Lady the Flag and how I bead, because I was saying how I didn't really like the beads. I do the full cross stitch so that the beads appear straight and not on an angle. And I do prefer it that way. I think it looks like the way I want it to look. I am still beading, plugging away at it. I sat down for like an hour each, not each day, but maybe like 3 or 4 days this week. So I will talk about that in a little bit, but I still don't love the beads. I'm happy that I've committed to doing it. I'm going to finish it as charted, but I still don't love them. So Sarah had asked how much time I spend stitching each day, and do I have any secrets, tips, or tricks that help, I guess, to get more stitching done. So first of all, full disclosure, in the summer months, I work in the school system. I'm an 11-month employee, which means in the summer I work half of the days. My school district is also closed down on Mondays for energy saving type things. Although we are still really working remotely at this point. So half of 4 days means I'm only working 2 days a week right now. So I have lots of time. Plus, we're in quarantine still here in New Jersey. Things are opening up, but I'm still not comfortable going around to as many places as I maybe would normally. And you have to wear a mask everywhere, which is totally fine. I think we should be wearing masks everywhere, but that means that maybe I don't want to take the kids out to like the aquarium or the zoo or someplace, because they're not going to be comfortable wearing masks all day long. So we're staying home a lot. I've got a lot of stitching time. When we get back to the real world, normal world, I probably won't have as much stitching time. But I do usually, pre-quarantine, stitch during the week only at night. So from about 7 o'clock till 10, 11 o'clock. And then on the weekends, if we're home and we're not doing anything, I would get a lot more stitching done. I would stitch for a few hours during the day and then also stitching at night. So I do have a lot of stitching time, but more now that we're kind of in this pandemic situation. So just a warning, when we go back to normal life, I won't have quite as much to show you. Nellie asked how I would determine the size of fabric I need for all 3 of the Blackbird Design summer, autumn, winter. And I will put that, a picture of that here just to remind you of what it looks like. And this is one of the things where I wrote a really lengthy comment on her comment, and then it did not get posted, I guess, or saved. So I apologize for that. But basically, if you look on the chart, it has the stitch count for all 3 together. And so you just take that, and I use a regular calculator on my phone, but there are apps that you can plug those numbers into, and that will tell you how wide and how tall the stitching is. So if you're doing 28 count or 32 count, you're going to stitch over 2 threads. So for 28 count, you're going to take that number from the chart, you're going to divide by 14 because we're going over 2 threads. If you're doing 32 count, you're going to divide the stitch count by 16. And you'll end up with 2 numbers, which will show you how many inches you need for the stitching across and down. You also need some extra on the border, 2 or 3 inches on each side. So you're going to add that. And then you're going to do that whole process over at least 1 or 2 more times just to make sure that you calculated it right, because the worst feeling in the world is cutting your fabric too short. So It's not a difficult thing to do, but if you don't want to do it on a calculator, there are plenty of apps and websites where you can just put in the stitch count and it will do it all for you without you having to figure out the math. So hope that helps. And I think that is all for questions. So next, while I'm on my computer here, we're going to do the giveaway for my Jolly July Christmas project bags made by my mom, Barbara. And we have all 3 sizes with vinyl fronts. And so I have the YouTube random comment picker. And I'm going to go ahead and put that video in here where I am choosing the winner for the project bags. Okay, so this is the comment picker, random YouTube comment picker, and I put in my video URL and the word July that I want to use to filter all the comments that had the word July in them. And then I am going to go ahead and choose the winner. So I will come over here and hit start. And the winner of the projects bags is Ellen Itchner. Congratulations. I will go ahead and comment on your comments. And if you want to email me at barbarasdaughterflosstube@gmail.com, I will get your address from you and get these project bags sent out to you. Congratulations, Ellen. Okay, so now I'm going to, I guess, go to the stitching. So the first thing I have to show you is a finish. And it is Abby Rose Designs Merry Christmas. I had this about halfway finished last week. And I'm going to make that into a pincushion eventually, or a pillow. But I'm not finishing anything right now because of my basement remodel where all my crafty stuff is packed up. So this is going to go in the box until hopefully soon I can finish my things. We'll see. No pressure, husband. Just work quickly. Got to get to my crafty stuff. So that was my only finish this week, cross-stitching related. I have a semi-finish on some random projects that I just picked up, just decided to do. I got this Retro Mama pattern. She's on Etsy and she has a website and she's on Instagram and has lots of really cute patterns. And I wanted to make this needle book, and I particularly liked that it had this 30s fabric on it. So I spent 2 days making 8 needle books. I don't know why I need 8 needle books, but we need 8 needle books, right? I'll probably give some to my mom or maybe send some as giveaways or exchange gifts, that sort of thing. So I will link Retro Mama down below so you can see this pattern. It was very easy to follow. It was lengthy because she has lots of diagrams and pictures and everything, but super easy. If you can sew, you can use a sewing machine rather, you can definitely do this. So these are finished except for the Velcro that I'm going to put to hold them closed. So this is what I did, 2 kinds. So this is what it looks like closed, and I'm going to put a little Velcro here to hold it closed. But then when you open it up, it has a pocket inside here, and then the pages to put your needles, and then a pocket in the back. I was also thinking of embellishing these pages a little. If you watch Lori Holt, she has a Flosstube channel, and she just did a needle book tutorial herself where she has all sorts of buttons and applique pieces on the actual needlebook pages, which makes it look super cute. And I thought, especially for the 30s fabric one that I used, I might like to do that. But so they're sort of a finish, but not complete. And then after I watched Lori's video, I realized that she didn't put the bind. So this is like quilt binding that you would, I mean, I made it in Retro Mama's pattern. She suggests using like the pre-made tape to use as your binding. I just took fabric and cut it and made binding out of it. But that is maybe more work than you need to do if you want to just do it like Lori did it. This is what that will look like without the binding. So let me just hold both of them up here. You can see the difference. And it's the same inside, except I made the pockets going the long way here instead of across the bottom. And then the needlebook pages of, that's just felt. And I used white felt for those. And then I did some other colors. So I have this one with the brown felt in the middle for your needlebook. And another one just like that, which is no binding on that one. And I did this one with the Mackinac Island fabric that I have left over from the quilt top that I made, with red felt inside and the side pockets. And then I did some Christmas ones. So I have this one, same inside, it has green felt pockets. And I did a similar one with binding and also green felt inside. And then I did this fun one that kind of matches the fabric that my mom used on the project bags. And it has red felt inside and the side pockets. So I actually am gonna do another Jolly July giveaway this week. I'm gonna give away the Christmas needlebook that I made. So if you're interested in this needlebook, let me remember to say the rules. You have to be 18 or older so you can give me your address. Please do not say giveaway or free or anything like that in the comments. And leave me a comment below and just use the word needle in your comment, and that's what I will search for when I do the random comment picker next week. I will finish this with some Velcro to hold it closed and maybe embellish some of the pages and then send it off to the winner next week. So that was, like I said, my other semi-finish this week. So whips are next, and I am working on mason jar lineup. And again, if you've been watching, you know I'm only doing a couple of these at a time on a smaller piece of fabric. So I did another jar. Let me just clip this on. Makes it a lot easier to point to it if you have it, don't have to hold it on there. So I did this jar here and the stems inside. So I just have to do the top of the flower that goes over here. And then this section will be done. And I believe it'll fit in a 5x7 frame, or I could maybe make a flat fold out of it. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. So then I'm probably going to take a break and put this away. I will do more of these at some point. I'm going to save it all together in the project bag, but I just want to do more like Christmas stuff this month. And I've started some other projects, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to kind of put this on the back burner after I finish that. So I think by next week, I'll have a small finish on that one. And the other whip that I worked on was this American sampler. I'm getting very close to a finish on this, which is super exciting. I have to do the grass that is at the bottom with the fence. That's the word I'm looking for. The grass with the fence and the bunting on it. So I am going to show you what I have. I did this week the man, the flag, and the tree over here. So all along the bottom is a lot of grass I have to fill in, but that is good nighttime TV stitching. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully, I don't know, can I get it all done this week? Maybe. It depends. It's a good nighttime stitching, but it's also kind of boring. Just go all the way across and all the way back. I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe I can get that done this week and have a finish on this. I'm excited about that. I have, I think, a frame that it will fit in. So that would be, it's going to fit in 11x14 standard frame, which I love. So we'll see. Tune in next week and we'll see if I was able to get that done. I had 2 new starts this week. I had showed you a whole bunch of Christmas whips that I wanted to get done. I'm not doing any of those. Instead, I'm starting new things because Why not, right? I purchased Prairie Schooler Christmas Alphabet and wanted to use the dot fabric that I had gotten when I was at Needleworkers last week, because I think Christmas should be fun and cute. I still have little kids, so I like the cuteness of that dot fabric, but it's 36 count, so this is super, super tiny and adorable. It's going to be long and skinny. I've done 4 letters and started to kind of, I wanted to see that I had enough fabric, so I went all the way down with the boxes on one side. And yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm just trying to do like, I think I did one house, or one square rather, a day. And so we'll see if I can keep that up along with my other projects, but I'm excited about that. And then because I really like huge, enormous projects, I decided I would start the Shores of Hawthorne Hollow. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and Amy Loves Toads had finished, Amy from Amy Loves Toads had finished it, and here's a better picture of it, like a more close-up picture of it. So I am starting with this block here in the top left, and I am about halfway. I have to do the rocks that are down here under the lighthouse, and there's some seagulls up here, and then all of this is water. So I have to do a lot of blue stitching. I really like the way this is coming out. It's on 36 count Picture This Plus Heartland. And I had a different piece of fabric for it until I realized that it wasn't large enough. Back to what I said about cutting your fabric too short, not a good idea. So then I thought, oh, well, the only other piece of fabric that I have in my stash, because you needed larger than a fat quarter. So I always just buy fat quarters unless I'm buying for a specific project that's larger than that. So the only piece that I had a fat half for was this Picture This Plus Heartland. So that's what it is, and it looks fine, looks good. I'm using the DMC colors, and I'm really glad about that because and it could just be the picture, but the colors in the picture are, I don't know how well it's gonna come across, but maybe a little harsher than the colors that I'm using. And I did make kind of a big mistake. All the red here and the white, I switched them by accident. I don't know. The white should be red and the red should be white, and it's not. And I'm not switching it because I did the entire lighthouse before I realized that. So it is still a red and white striped lighthouse. It's just the wrong stripes are the wrong colors. So that's all right. I'm okay with it. I'm using, like I said, the DMC called for colors, but I did get a bunch of overdyed blue colors to use to try out for the water, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet because I haven't started the water yet. So we will see. Probably by next week I'll have that one done. I also wanted to show you, last week I showed you my knitting project I was going to do in the car, which, do I have the picture here? Let's see. I don't think I have the picture here, so I will insert a picture of what this is going to look like, but it is a shawl, and it is stitched, I should say it's purchased from We Are Knitters with this really pretty pink yarn. It's called the Petite Wool. I did not get very far in this. I was gonna stitch in the car, and then I was like, man, I don't feel like stitching in the car. So I just stitched a little bit at the house, and I have this much done. So I haven't been knitting. I haven't knit in a while, so my tension's a little off. It's far from perfect, but I'll keep going on that. It's just for me, so it would be nice to have that done for the winter. And I think that is all for my whips. So haul is next, and I got my Lady Justice pattern from Mirabilia that I had been waiting for. And I'm going to go ahead and put this picture up and leave it up permanently over here while I'm talking so you can see, because I'm going to do some color changes, so I want you to be able to see the original and the colors that I'm going to use. So I knew that I wanted to change the skin and hair and use Gary from Sunshine Stitchers, use his conversion. So I have pulled those colors. However, Gary stitched his 2/2 on, I believe, 32 count or 28 count, I'm not sure, but it was definitely 2/2 because he used some blends where he had different, 2 different colors, 1 strand of each. I want to stitch mine on 36 count with 1 strand, so I can't have blends. So where Gary had 2 colors together, like 310 and 3799, I'm just making that up, I don't know if those are 2 of them. Where he had that, what I would do is look at 310 and 3799 and find a color that was in between those 2 and use that. So I have extra colors here, but those will be the colors that I use for the skin and the hair. And then for the dress, I didn't really care for the green that is in the dress, but I liked the aqua. So I thought, well, should I keep the aqua sash and do a different color dress? Or, you know, I tried out a whole bunch of colors. I tried pinks, I tried yellows, I tried different blues. And I just kept coming back to I really like the aqua. So I'm going to actually do the dress in the aqua that the sash should be in. So I've got those colors here. So I'll do the dress in those colors. And then for the sash, I decided to use yellows, or, I mean, I was thinking they were like golden colors, but they're pretty much yellow. I don't know, this is going to show my ignorance, but I don't know if yellow is a color that is symbolic of the Black Lives Matter movement, but I know that they're using yellow to paint the Black Lives Matter murals on the streets, and I feel like, to me, if I make this sash yellow, then that's what it will remind me of if I'm looking at it in the future. So I thought, well, maybe that's a good color for me to do for this. I should also mention, I'll put the hashtags down below because I probably am not going to say them accurately, but there's a diversity and inclusion SAL and a representation matters SAL, and so that's why I'm changing the skin and hair color to go along with the other stitchers who are doing that right now. And I thought that these yellow colors in the sash would kind of complement that idea. So these are my colors for the dress and the sash, and then the hair and skin, and then there's a bunch of like pinks and blues that are in her hair, like flowers. I'm just leaving those. So you only need a little bit of each of these colors, but there's a lot of them. And then there's a few other colors that are dark bits in her dress and sash. So those are all my colors for Lady Justice. So then I was looking at my fabrics and trying to figure out, because I had purchased a lot of fabric. I wanted to use something that I had from my stash. And so I ended up picking out Weeks Parchment, which I have on the new Zweigart base, and I like that a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and just put out the skin, the hair, and the sash colors on here so that you can kind of see the fabric behind them, I hope. So I think I'm going to do it on this. All the colors, you know, yellow's a warm color and the aqua's a cool color, and so you have to find something that's going to match everything. And so this seemed to work the best. It is fairly solid. There's not a lot of modeling in it, but it's not a stark white. I had some blues and grays, but I felt like the aquas weren't going to show up as good on those. So I'm happy with this choice. And I'm not going to start this until I finish the beading and frame Lady of the Flag. I think one Mirabilia at a time is about it for me because I have so many other things that I want to do. So I'm going to put all this in my bag, and I really do want to start it soon. So hopefully that will motivate me to finish the beading on my Lady of the Flag so I can get started on this one. So other haul, my mom went to Hobby Lobby and bought me these charcuterie boards that everyone is talking about to use for finishing. So I love that. I'm gonna do something with those at some point. And I got some patterns. So I bought this one from Heartstring Sampler, You Make My Heart Happy, because this pattern makes me happy. I like it. And so I'm just putting that in my stash. No immediate plans to stitch it, but I really liked it. And then while I was there, I also saw her, this one came in at Market, and it's called A Token for My Friend, and it's a collaboration with Plum Street Samplers. There is another half to it. Now, I don't know that I'll stitch them all as one piece. I might do them as two separate pieces, but I'm going to get that other Plum Street pattern and stitch them both. I really love the colors in that. They're very, very pretty. And then the last pattern for cross stitch that I got was Priscilla and Chelsea's Stitching with the Housewives, their ornament for Jolly July, which is, I think, just called Jolly Claus. He's super cute, and they stitch on 28 count, so when I stitch on 36 count, it's gonna be super tiny, which I'm happy about because I like ornaments to be maybe a little smaller. And I'm gonna do it again on this polka dot fabric, 36 count white mini dots on raw linen. And I don't have a ring for these yet. I have some of the cold four colors, but I didn't have them all. I didn't have the blue or the red. So I have Santa's New Suit from Victorian Motto as my red instead of Licorice Red. And I have Really Tealy instead of the blue that they used, which was Rain Shower. So I think I can get, there's going to be 4 ornaments coming out. The second one, the truck, Gingham Truck, I think it's called, came out today. Super cute. I have to get that. And I have quite a bit left of this fabric, so I think I'll be able to do all of them on this fabric. And then I'll have a set of 4 cute little ornaments all in the same fabric. So my other big piece of haul is from a Facebook group, and I will link that group below. This group is doing a bunch of exclusive patterns, which is awesome. So only the people from the group can get in on the pattern. And this is Blackbird Designs United We Stand. It's a beautiful pin cushion when it's finished, if you want to finish it like that. So I received my pattern, and also came, I'm sorry for the glare, but I left it in a bag so you could see how it came. And I got the linen, the threads, and they give you a floss holder. So I'm just going to open it up. This is Wren by Picture This Plus. So this is enough fabric to do the whole project. And they gave you finishing fabric for the bottom. All of the flosses are Weeks Dye Works. Let me grab my board here. So where's my fabric? See what that looks like. And then the store that was supplying all of this everything for the kit is called the Quilters Station, and it's in Missouri. They gave you a needle on their business card right there, and a floss drop, United We Stand. And then on the back, it has Quilters Station and their phone number. So I thought that was pretty neat. And so I don't know when I'm going to get to this, because I might end up saving it till next year for patriotic stitching next year. But it's all ready to go, which I love. In a kit, I'll just add that to a project bag and it'll be all set. I also got some fabric. I got my Picture This Plus fabric of the month from Crazy Annie, and this is 36 count Nocturne, which I love. This is like a blue, dark blue with some, well, like some gray in it. But I can see this. I have a hard time with the black and the chalkboards, but I can see the holes on this, no problem. So I'm excited to do something that would really stand out on this darker fabric. I also used up the last of my birthday gift cards on 123 Stitch, and I got Weeks Sanguine. And this is the old Weeks, but I just needed a little piece of it for some of the, I think it's a drum in the Sewing Club book by Blackbird Designs. So I got my little piece of that. And I got some Picture This Plus 36 count Legacy and 36 count Sand because I really liked Sand. I had bought that and used it for something else. And I said, oh, I really like this color. So I got both of those as well. And yeah, I think that is all my haul for cross stitch. I do have a couple other things. So I got this pattern here called No Point Stars. It's a free pattern from Cluck Cluck Sew, and I will link it below. It is, I am following an Instagram account. I think it's called Simple Stitches. I'm going to link that below as well. And she did a quilt. I'll put a picture in here of what it looked like. It was this block with a smaller one of these blocks and all put together like multiple small ones next to one large one. And it is so pretty. And you could do it in, there's so many possibilities for what fabrics you could do it in. So I really would like to do that quilt. Again, I think I'm going to wait until that basement's finished, though. I really can't see making a quilt project in my hallway up here where I have my sewing machine stashed for now. Cynthia Brew, on one of her last videos, showed some cool sunflowers she had made, and I got the pattern for that from Peach Bottom Primitives. And so I'll link that below as well. So I don't know when I'll do that, but they just looked really cool, and they're called grungy sunflowers. I was going to say they looked really grungy, so I'm excited to do that. And that is all the haul. I'm going to try and tone it down a little bit with the haul because I can't keep up with all the extra stitching time I have. I still can't keep up with everything I'm buying. So my plans for this week, I want to finish the mason jar, maybe finish American Sampler, bead that lady to the flag, and then I kind of want to do this Jolly claws because I feel like that's just a one-day stitch that's super quick. I might do that today after I finish this video. And yeah, we'll see what else catches my fancy and what else I end up stitching. But those are my plans for this week. I hope you have a great stitchy week and get a lot done. And I will see you back here again next week.